Hi everyone and welcome to the Crows Show, brought to you by Chemist Warehouse. I'm Mark Bickley.
And I'm Alana Smith, and we are 11 rounds into the season, which means we're just about halfway through.
Yes, the weeks are just flying by. Coming up in today's show, another game of footy, but what do we wear?
And round 2 of Smithers and Dougy. You won't want to miss it.
Well, get home and chisel on the computer, write a few stats.
Yeah, you just status updates. Hurry back that on board.
But first, the demands and discipline of being an AFL footballer come to a head on the main training day. It's when all the planning and preparation is put into practice and players and coaches try to simulate game day matchups. Let's tag along with Vice Captain Rory Sloane to see how the day unfolds.
Morning guys, I'm about to show you what it's like to have a full training day at the Adelaide Crows. It's about 8 o'clock this morning. I've just arrived at Adelaide Oval and I'm about to begin my main session. Before we start our main session though, some of the boys will get strapped. Myself and Scotty Thompson are a couple of the few that don't do any strapping, so we'll probably stay nice and relaxed in the change rooms. We might have a bit of a stretch, a bit of a kick warm up, and then a couple of team meetings to finish off before we head out. So we just hopped out of our team meeting, did a little bit of learning about our opposition, and then found out what we've got for our main session. Our main session is the most important training session of the week. It's where we get to practice all our game fundamentals, our game style, what we might come up against this weekend against Freo. So really important session for us. The guys are going to make sure they're really sharp, skills are good, and there's plenty of energy out there. So we've done our main session this morning. Boys are now back at the footy club, getting pretty hungry, so we're going to go down to our players' lounge, get ourselves some food. Some boys might head for a coffee, bit of banana bread, and then it's time for some weights. So we'll make our way into the gym. As you can tell, I've got to spend a bit of time in here. For guys like Scotty Thompson, he just looks at weights and gets big. So I've finished my weights. Now this is on to the relaxing part of the day. So I'll have my little recovery smoothie, then on to massage, physio, chiro, some meditation, and then out of here by about 4 or 5 o'clock. So you can see it's a pretty good way to finish the afternoon and then on to preparing to Fremantle this weekend.
So much so that even any bench prepared but Sloane can with the first of the night.
Club Guernseys are often a talking point among fans. The Crows have 3 different game day designs: the traditional tricolour hoops, a predominantly white away Guernsey and a yellow clash jumper. After that, it all boils down to who, where and what.
First thing is the AFL decide what a clash is, and really their mandate is they want to have a predominantly dark team versus a predominantly light team, and that's for the viewing on television, which I think we all understand and agree with.
And Tom Lynch will finish it off.
Our club has got a policy basically that we want to wear our home Guernsey as much as we possibly can. It's a little bit easier quite a few years ago when there was probably only 8 or so teams that were deemed as clashes with us. So there's only 3 left who are Sydney, Port Adelaide and Geelong, where we can wear our home Guernsey with white shorts when we're playing away from home.
He's got time to weigh it all up, keeps it low.
We've obviously got the 2 away Guernseys. We've got the predominantly yellow one and the predominantly white one.
In late 2015, we went to a members' vote. At the time, the white Guernsey was the most popular evenly across the field. Our yellow Guernsey was the strongest liked out of all of it, so that's why we had to settle on the 2.
My favourite away Guernsey is the white one. My favourite away jersey would be yellow one. Yeah, mine's the white one. I like that one. White.
Yeah, white Guernseys are good.
Definitely the white.
I'd say the yellow. Why's that? Oh, it just stands out. Everyone wears a white Guernsey. Yeah. Yellow looks good.
My favourite away Guernsey is the yellow clash Guernsey. I love yellow. I love the boldness that it inspires in the team.
We like to freshen things up, so that's why we did change it in 2015. We'll probably be looking to do that in 2018.
When Alana returns after the break, a young man's extraordinary journey from Sudan to West Lakes. And some players lag behind when the terrain gets tough.
Welcome back. 10 years ago, a young boy and his family left their war-ravaged homeland of Sudan to start a new life in Australia. Dinger Kerr is now 15 and his dream is to play AFL. When he arrived in Adelaide, he started playing soccer, but a neighbour introduced him to football and he's now one of the Crows' first next-generation academy recruits. Dinger Kerr is an impressive athlete. Already 194 centimetres tall, he has wonderful potential as a ruckman, something that was inconceivable only a few years ago.
Oh, back then I never even knew what the sport was. It was just awkward with the awkward ball. Just always kept the round ball, either it was a basketball or soccer. Just never used to the curved shape of the ball.
The Crows Academy was established to help young people like Ding from multicultural or Indigenous backgrounds, and the benefits extend beyond football.
The Next Gen Academy is a big milestone in my footy career. It's good because it gives me exposure to coaches, players and the staff here, so I can develop more as a player but also as individual young man developing.
I'm hopeful, obviously with our recruiting team, that in the next 2 or 3 years we can have one of these next generation academy boys playing in the Adelaide Footy Club Guernsey.
Ding is one of 40 players who attend the academy, but he also plays for his school, the Salisbury Club and Central District.
Footy is just part of life now, just riding along and loving it.
Those boys are navigating their way through the sample pathway programs at their 4 respective clubs, and then they come in here once a month and we top them up with some value-add education and obviously skill development.
30 closing, couldn't finish. Alir.
Ding hopes to follow the AFL path of Kenyan-born Alir and fellow Sudanese Majak Dor.
It is a massive dream to be drafted or play at the most elite level, if it's SNFL, if it's AFL, or just try to get to the highest level I can possibly can.
Wouldn't it be wonderful to see him in a Crows Guernsey? Well, for a big man, Tom Lynch can turn on the pace when he needs to. But what's he like behind the wheel of a Toyota Hilux when he has to negotiate a tough 4-wheel drive course along with other past and present players?
Click front and back.
You're in or what? Come on. Obviously being able to drive these Hiluxes out here today on a little bit of a 4-wheel drive course was a lot of fun.
You feel like most cars bottom of your car would just be scratching.
Definitely wasn't going fast, but it was quite incredible. Obviously going up this steep hill, it doesn't certainly look that steep standing here now, but when you're in the car and you can't see anything in front of you, it was like that.
Pretty impressive, these Hiluxes, aren't they? This is going to be fun. Going back down here, Texan.
I had Tex in the back, which was quite annoying at times, telling me I was hitting every rock.
What's it like in the back there, Texan?
Every single one.
Every single one.
He was annoying, and he wasn't very encouraging, which so I'll get my turn though to be in the back seat with him.
Yeah, well done, good job. That's a good time too, I reckon.
Yeah, for sure.
We're comparing times to find out who's the best off-road driver, and Tom is off the pace. He's back in 9th place. Sauce and Dougy are still the 2 to catch. Now, speaking of Richard Douglas, he showed us last week that he's more than a match for Brodie Smith when it comes to having a few laughs. So, thanks to Revolution Roofing, we've brought him back for another 60-second grilling.
Welcome to the Victory Veranda Hot Seat. This week we've got Richard Diggy Dugwell. Richard, dream job after footy.
I've got nothing for him. I don't have a dream job. I want to do this forever.
Okay. Well, you're not going to.
Okay.
Just a heads up.
Well.
Any pets?
Yep. Chiz. Got a pet Kelpie, Chisel.
Probably more for the younger generation of the club, but there's a few Instagram pages of dogs getting around.
Yep.
I'm assuming Chiz doesn't have one.
Back in the day, he had a Facebook page. Set up by my brother. And everyone thought I set up.
Well, get home and Chiz on the computer, writing a few stats.
Yeah, he just status updates. Hurry back that on board.
If you could pick one player to take a shot after the siren, who would it be? We'll go 40 metres on the 45.
40 metres, 45. From the Crows, I'd say Tales. Just because they just fall in every time.
Yeah, somehow.
He's never kicked them behind in his life.
That's true. I think that's facts, yeah. And if you could be anyone else in the world, who would it be? And why?
Steve Smith. I love my cricket. He's the captain of Australia, obviously, and he's got the life, I reckon. Travel the world, play the great game. I would love to do that.
Would you have gotten through Steve Smith about 8 years ago when he just got bagged? He was no good.
I was on him. I was still.
You were on him?
Even when he bowled leg spin.
Bat number 8.
Batting at 8, I thought, dude, this guy can bat. He made a solid 5 one day, but when I thought, gee, he's got a bit.
All right, thanks for joining us, Dave.
Easy.
What a double act with those two. Stay with us on The Crow Show. Still ahead, the son of a gun with the will to work. And from discard to 130-game veteran, Rhett Bigone reflects on his AFL career.
Calories, kilojoules and kilograms. They're just as important to a footballer's career as fitness and ability. That's why Crow's dietitian, Bree Salagaris, is always stressing the value of good nutrition to players like Daniel Talia, all with the help of Thomas Farms.
Some of our younger players would expend sort of around 8,000-ish kilojoules in a game. Again, it depends on their height and their size and general disposition and body composition. They tend to eat heavier meals because, yes, they're hungry and they've expended all that energy, but the reality is they've got plenty of time to replace it as long as they eat regularly and some pretty substantial food. Older players, probably a little bit less. Requirements aren't as high because they've done growing as well. Our main focus post-game is for the boys to consume protein. That's #1 element for recovery. Then we look at, all right, yes, we can replace some of that fuel, and yes, they've got a little bit of leeway because they've just expended 6,000 to 8,000 kilojoules in that game. But ideally, protein focus, and then if carbs come in around that, then great.
When it comes to hard training, few players can match the commitment of Jake Kelly. The son of Collingwood Premiership player Craig Kelly, he debuted with the Crows in 2015. But after 10 games, he was dropped back to the SANFL, missing all of 2016. But through sheer determination, he forced his way back into the senior side and has missed just 1 game this year.
It's been really great this year getting back into the team. Obviously last year didn't play at all, so that was a bit hard. But yeah, I worked hard last year to improve some things I needed to, and over the pre-season, and found my way back in there round 1, and yeah, it's been really good. It's easy to stay motivated when you're not in the team. Obviously I've got a taste of AFL in my 2nd year, and that was enough motivation for me. I mean, I played 10 in a row, and after that, yeah, when I was left out, I was motivated ever since.
It's hard going out there for Fremantle. Tucker's kick has been marked.
We have great chemistry. The way we play is proactive. We support each other. It's a unit of 6 defenders rather than 6 individuals. And when we play as a unit, it's great because we support each other in the air, on the ground, and makes it really enjoyable to play. James Podsiadly is probably the main one who's had a big influence on me throughout my time here. I mean, he's obviously started as a player in my first year, and I got to know him quite well. And then, yeah, the last 3 years has been great for me. Obviously, transitioning to a coach. It was really disappointing getting looked over initially. I mean, I obviously was aspiring to play for Collingwood in a way because I'd been supporting that club all my life, and obviously naturally you want to go there, but when that didn't happen, I was moved over it within a minute. I didn't mind because I knew that opportunities would come in the rookie draft with Adelaide potentially, because I'd been speaking to them most of the year. So when that did happen, it was amazing, and I'm glad I'm here. I
thought Jackie Kelly played a great role as well.
Yeah, he did a good job.
Have you heard what he said to Stevie J?
Oh no, tell us.
Stevie J was into him, and obviously Jakey's old man manages him. He said,
Yeah, Ned Kelly.
He said, Stevie, don't talk to me like that, mate. You've been paying for my business class tickets to Europe for the past 6 years.
The sledge, yeah. I had to say something. He was just getting into Daniel Talia, I think, and I just walked over to him and obviously documented what I said about him paying for my seats to Europe. So, yeah, I don't know.
Jake goes by the rather unflattering nickname of the Bull due to his bulletigate approach to the game. Another player whose AFL career got off to a stuttering start was Rhett Bigone. Initially drafted by the Power, he was cut without making an appearance before joining the Crows and notching up 134 games. In this segment, Flying the Nest, brought to you by Flight Centre, we find out he divides his time between managing a retail store and commentary commitments.
This is not an easy kick for Rhett Bigone, although he's got the breeze behind him. Good kick by Bigone.
Rhett Bigone is a familiar voice to listeners of Triple M's football coverage. He says commentary allows him to still enjoy the game at close quarters.
I think most guys do it to enjoy it. It's very hard to be professional in the media as far as building a career. There's only limited spots. But I think Triple M do a great job with their calls of the game. It's so much fun, and as you know, with the partner of the club, we have a ball.
Reflecting on his ruck work, Rhett is quick to credit Doc Clark's game-changing tap skills.
The doctor, he was the intelligence and I was the brawn, that was about it. So he used to set them all up and I used to run through them, but he was probably one of the best ruckmen in that era, along with Luke Darcy.
Preliminary final losses in 05 and 06 obviously still burn deep.
We were devastated with 2005-06. They were best opportunities, having never lost to Sydney, and a couple of bad prelims against West Coast, which I think everyone who played in those games regretted as far as our performance in the final series, and opportunity gone begging.
And the 06 prelim turned out to be his last game.
We were up when I went off, so I'm blaming Nathan Van Berlo, who he cleaned up my leg and unfortunately snapped the ACL, and I sort of knew it was gone, but then trying to come back on because it was a prelim and to get us in the grand final was not the best idea.
Some old Port Adelaide mates are always eager to remind him of his clash with Byron Pickett.
Choppy tried, well, he thought I was a hamburger and tried to eat me, but ran through me, came back on, kicked a goal, so I was happy with that, but had a headache for a while, that's for sure. It's good when I see Choppy and Lincoln have a beer with him and have a laugh about it.
When Rhett is not commentating or enjoying surfing or wakeboarding, he manages the Nike store in Rundle Mall. So, any regrets about not playing on?
And whilst there was an opportunity to continue to try and push through, I think 2 knee recons was probably my limit of where I wanted to be, and to be able to do the things that I like now and enjoy them.
Rhett formed an important ruck combination with Matthew Clark through the early 2000s. After the break, we look at some highlights from social media and pick out a face in the crowd.
Before we take a look at a couple of highlights from social media, remember that by joining the Crows on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, you'll get exclusive insights and breaking news every day. Last weekend we celebrated Indigenous Round, and next week it's the 20th anniversary of the club's first premiership. What better time to show this highlight of Troy Bond in the 1997 Grand Final. Certainly never get sick of watching that. Now, speaking of Indigenous Round, how good was this photo of the players on the ground during the pre-match ceremony? A really special moment for the club and the team. Now, we're always looking to find someone in the crowd who we can make a winner. So, how about you? If you recognise yourself, contact the club before 5 p.m. next Wednesday. Be ready with some photo ID and a merchandise pack will be yours. Looking ahead to next week and a very special Where Are They Now segment featuring dual premiership coach Malcolm Blight.
I think it was a bit of pride on everyone's shoulder, you know, to say that we actually finally made it to a grand final, so that was good.
Cannot wait to hear from the great man. Well, that's about all we have time for this week, thanks to Chemist Warehouse.
Now, for all the latest news and player profiles, make sure you go to the club website afc.com.au.
Thanks for your company, and we look forward to you joining us again next Sunday at 11:30 on 7. Bye for now.
We'll see you then.